Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well. I just saw that fly you were talking about. I am finally going to do the review on the Milwaukee M-18 fuel. And I'm a day or two late. I'm not sure when you're going to see this. I had this planned for Monday's video, but it's been kind of nuts around here. So you may be seeing this on Tuesday. You may be seeing it on Wednesday. I don't know. But anyway, I'm now getting to it. So first things first, I got this thing over at Home Depot here locally in Kingman, and this is the Milwaukee M-18 red lithium battery with a 5 amp hour battery on it. Now, I had to buy these separately, so the tool came separate, and then the battery and the charger came separately. These two came together, the battery and the charger. So the battery and the 5 amp hour were like $169, and the tool was like $199. So basically, I got about $370 into this tool the way you see it, other than the base plate. Dad put a base plate on it for me, and he modified that, but we'll get more into that later. So, I gotta say this thing is really substantial. If you look at it from a standpoint of weight, you know, I did that video last week where I weighed all of the different routers that I use, and this one came in at 4.7, well, you can't see it. This one came in at 4.7 pounds, but that's with the battery on there. So it is comparable to the weight of the DeWalt cordless. But again, my DeWalt cordless, I've only got a 2 amp hour battery. This is a 5 amp hour battery. I don't know exactly how long this is going to last, but it's got a cool little battery tester power thing on there. Those red lights should be all lit up now. And people were asking me, is it top heavy? I haven't carved with it yet, but I don't get the feeling that it's top heavy. It is heavy on the top, but I don't get the feeling that that's going to be a problem from a carving standpoint. But we'll check that out when we get outside, when we do the actual carving demo. I just want to go over all the features of it, or the main ones that are pertinent to what I do. The interesting thing was it came with a 3.5 inch, or maybe this is a 4 inch base plate. Let's check it out. It's a 4 inch base plate, and it came with a bigger base plate that is it's almost 6 inch, but I don't know if it's quite 6. It is 5 3/4, but it has got this step in there for if you're going to use template guides and cut shapes with it, which I don't know that I would do with this router anyway. I'm going to keep this thing just for carving signs. I'm not sure I'm going to use any template guides, but it is kind of cool that it came with 2 different base plates. The other thing that it came with is an edge guide, and you guys, I don't use this. We have our own edge guide that works with our base plate, but there's some of you, and actually in the modification, we cut the part out that this would hook up to, so this really is not of use to me. Now, the interesting thing is it also came with a little dust collector manifold deal, but the problem is, let me see, where does it go? Oh yeah, it goes on the front here. The problem is with the lights on there and the base plate, I'm not sure if you can see this, it kind of is in the way. I think I could hook it up. It's got some little wing nuts to hook it up, and I did hook it up the other day. I'm not sure whether I can do it right now, but let me see if I... So this goes through here, and it hooks into these little threaded holes, but with now that I've got those lights glued on there, because I glued my fairy lights, it doesn't really work really well with the fairy lights. So I'm not going to use that, but I probably wouldn't use it anyway. I did hook up the fairy lights, and that gives me all kinds of lighting in there, even though the router itself actually has LED lights like the DeWalt does. Let me turn it on real quick. So you can see it's got some LED lights in there. Those and those actually light it up pretty well, but I need auxiliary lighting. So that is that. Again, I think they make I did see at Home Depot, I did see a 3 amp hour battery, but it was sold separately. And so I just bought the 170 kit that came with the charger and the 5 amp hour battery, and that will tell me what I need to know. And I think that will work well for me. So now let's get into a couple other details. One thing I really like, this has a shaft lock for the for putting the bit in and tightening it up, but it also comes with a double wrench setup. So if you want more more force on there or more torque on it to get that bit even tighter, you don't have to use the shaft lock. You can actually use the double wrench setup, which is really nice. I really like that. That's a great little feature. Now, as far as the depth adjustment, I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with this. You guys know I'm a DeWalt guy, and I love the ring on the DeWalts. But this, the way they have this set up, is pretty dang cool. This is, you know, and I'm not trying to knock anything, because this is a, you know, a $200 router. The Rigid R2401 has this same type of setup where it's got a shaft and then the wheel turns it up and down. But I'll tell you what, this is so far above what the Rigid is, and what the Rigid is as far as stability. It's just built so much better. It's not even comparable, even though it's the same type of system. The other thing that I really like is to get the housing off, you just have a little button there to depress, and you just depress that button and it goes right back on. See how easy that was? It goes right back on, tightens up, but the up and down movement of this thing, it's just like, there's like no drag on there at all. It's just super smooth. And if you look at the Rigid, I don't have it here in front of me, but I like the way this is built up around here. That Rigid, just that bevel, or that little levy, I guess. I'm just using whatever terminology I can think of. But it really is substantial, and this system is what the Rigid would like to be. But again, this is twice the cost of the Rigid, so I'm not knocking the Rigid, but this is so much more substantial than the Rigid as far as the way that depth adjustment works. And I really like the fact it almost goes on as fast and as easy as the DeWalt, which I didn't think I'd ever find one that would work like that. But I am super impressed with the stability. It just feels really substantial. It is a variable speed. However, I always run my routers at full speed, so for me that's not that big a deal unless I was cutting aluminum or brass or something like that, which I don't do on a normal basis. So let's see, what else am I forgetting? Gosh, I'm sure that there's more that I'm forgetting, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to now set up outside, and I'm just going to cut some with this and just give you my impressions on the way it carves, the way it feels, the way it moves, and all of those kinds of things. So stay with us and we'll meet you outside. All right, folks, so we're outside. We've got a little bit of a breeze that just came up, but it's actually pretty nice out here. So here's what I want to do. I want to run this thing, and I want to run it until this battery is dead. I've only turned it on a couple times, so it probably has only run a total of 20 seconds in all the times I've turned it on and turned it off. So I've got my profile bit in here, and I'm going to do kind of a little practice thing that I used to do all the time to keep my router running.
It's your dad.
Dad's running a router out in the garage. Anyway, one of the things I used to do is just practice carving inset letters with no layout, just doing A through Z. And so I'm just going to keep this thing constantly running until this thing goes out, and then I'll let you know how it performs, what it feels like, how long this 5 amp hour battery lasts. We'll see what Magnum thinks of it. Hey, Mag. And we'll just kind of give it an overall evaluation at the end. So, here we go.
Ew! Ah! Slobber dog!
Did he get you?
Gross!
Good boy, Mag. All right, here we go. Where's the button? It is, button's on the other side. right, guys, it still hasn't stopped, but we're at what, like almost 53 minutes, and I can hear the RPM starting to diminish. It's getting harder to pull through the board, so I'm going to say that's the effective time on that. And you can add, oh, I guess I should stop this. How do I stop it? Oh. So, and there must have been another, I think we lost a couple minutes, so it probably effectively 50 minutes is your carving time, something like that, before the battery starts diminishing to the point where it gets kind of hard to pull through the router or through the wood. That was longer than I thought it would be, honestly.
Yeah, we lost, our memory card got full, so.
Yeah, I think the memory card, well, I know the memory card on the camera got full before the battery started, before the battery stopped. And the battery still didn't stop completely like it has on my DeWalt. But again, this is a 5 amp hour battery, so it's not a real apples to apples comparison. But just in that 50 minutes that I carved, I can tell you that, man, this thing is solid. It just feels really solid. It cut really good up until the last few minutes. The RPMs were strong. It doesn't feel top heavy. It's very easy to manage and handle. It obviously throws the chips out the back. So all of the aspects of the DeWalt or the other routers that I've modified, the housing, pretty much the same. It was easy to adjust. You could see on some of those they were a little bit smaller letters that I was doing, and some of them deeper, so I adjust the depth up and down, and it was super easy to do, super fast.
Sawdust right on the
I guess
tip of your
I'm
nose.
covered with sawdust, according to Vicky. So it was super fast, super easy to adjust the depth on it. So all in all, man, this thing gets a rave review from me. Do I like it as well as my DeWalt? I don't know. Time will tell. But this certainly is, if not number one, it's number 2 router on my list now. I really, really like it. So again, whether it's worth it to you guys to spend this kind of money. Now, the neat thing is the battery that I have here is good for, I don't know, about 150 other tools, and I don't have to buy a charger again. So I will buy probably another battery, just a battery, because I already have the charger and the router that I want. Whether I'll buy more M-18 fuel tools, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, guys, that is about it. This thing went on really long, so I don't know. I'm going to speed it up probably more than 2 times, because this, I'm sure that watching me carve these little letters was probably very monotonous for you. It's fun for me. This is what I like to do. Sawdust makes me happy, you know. But I'm hoping it wasn't too monotonous for you guys. But this is things that I used to do to keep the router running when I'm in between orders up in Oatman. So that is it, guys. Again, I hope this is helpful. 2 thumbs up on this Milwaukee router. I love this thing. I really, really do. I think the more I use it, the more I love it. Man, those letters are tiny. Ooh, I carved some small letters there. I didn't realize how tiny those were. They didn't look that tiny through the big magnifiers. Anyway, thanks, guys. You'll see this either on Tuesday or Wednesday. It all depends on how fast I can get it done. But we will see you on the next one. Please give us a thumbs up. Share this video with someone you think that it'll be helpful for. And please leave us comments. Let me know if you guys have this thing, what you think of it, what you think overall of the demo. And leave us some comments in the YouTube area, the YouTube comments area. And send me an email if there's anything I can do for you. Any questions, send me sign carvers of the day. Eric@makeawoodsign.com. We're out. We love you. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.